back to another week of the vlog. We are in Montreal today. We are hanging out at Roleff, which is the company that gave us our bug screen. We are here getting it fixed because there is a rip starting to happen in the top corner. And so we are going to give that a quick fix, and then we're on the road because we are heading into the east coast of Canada for the next bunch of weeks. So Kino and I are on a solo road trip for the next few days until we pick Chris up in the Fredericton airport. So let's get this bug screen fixed, and then we're going to be on the road heading into New Brunswick today. Okay, so they are giving us a brand new door. Apparently we were missing, or we don't have on the van, a plastic piece just on the inside between the passenger door, just on the inside where the sliding door comes in. They thought we did, so we had the wrong model, I guess. So what they're doing is they're just flipping it out, giving us a new one that is the correct model for this van. They're just making a few adjustments to the sizing and how everything's going to fit, which is really cool because everything is custom made to your van. So if you have a counter that comes out, if you don't, everything's custom and specifically made to your measurements. So we love that and cannot wait to see this go up. All right, we are all done. We've got a brand new door on. A very big thank you to Roleff. We so appreciate all the time and effort that it took to put in the door, and the team that, you know, had to make a few adjustments to make it work. And we are very thankful that they also gave us a little bit of extra screens so that we can switch out the screens in our CR Lawrence bunk windows, because he said that the screen they gave us won't let mosquitoes in, but the current screens can let mosquitoes in. It's still big enough. So good tip to know if you have CR Lawrence bunk windows, that they may still let the bugs in. So maybe consider changing that out with a smaller netting. So if you're looking for an incredible Canadian company, check out Roleff. We'll leave their link below. You can watch our original install of the bug screen here. We've been using it all summer and are obsessed with it. It has saved our lives from the bugs, and it's also just really nice to leave the door open for the day. Are you ready to hit the road? All right, we are going to be heading along the south shore of the St. Lawrence, and then we are going to be heading south into New Brunswick today. And I believe our end goal is Mount Carleton, which is the highest mountain in the Maritimes. So let's get on the road. All right, well, good morning. Yesterday was just a big driving day, nothing exciting to see. I was heading into Mount Carleton Provincial Park in New Brunswick. Definitely a later arrival than I expected, just because I didn't leave Roleff till 12:30. I thought it was only going to be about an hour, so that's okay. But when I got to the park, the gates were down, and I guess the gates close at 8:30 to get into the park, so couldn't get in. No cell service, so I headed back to the closest town, which was about 45 minutes, but I've never seen so much wildlife in my entire life. Like, I almost hit 4 moose. So, came back in this morning, and we are about 2 kilometers into the hike. I think it's a 9.6, probably close to 10 kilometer hike. To get out of bed, you put your heart on a letter to chase it away. Got sun. Fire tower and the highest peak in the Maritimes. What do you think? Fun facts about this fire tower is it was used for watching for fires. So a guy would actually live up here from May to October, which is fire season. And I think he would live up here, not full time, but fairly regularly. And then the hike that I just came up, he would go up and down. And my guess is, or I heard that on the way down on the other side of the trail that I'm about to do, there's a cabin a little bit further down that where he would stay when he wasn't up here. Pretty cool. let's go in. Everybody leaves their names in here, so I brought a sticker up with me. We're gonna leave our sticker on the wall. I'm gonna have a quick bite to eat. I brought a donut for Kino, and then we're gonna head on back down, and then we're gonna go get Chris. Chris should be getting on his plane in about 2 hours, and then it's about a 3-hour drive to Fredericton. So this is the other cabin I was mentioning. So if the person that manned the fire tower wasn't up at the top, they'd be down here, or apparently at the front of the park entrance. So just a cozy log cabin that you can now come and have a nice break or a picnic at. What's out there? Wanna keep going? Okay, well, we did that in 3 hours and 45 minutes plus the stop at the top. I didn't record that, but did 454 meters of elevation, which is the highest summit in the Maritimes, which is pretty cool. So the rest of our hikes on this trip should be easier than that. Good morning. Found a friend.
I'm back. I always just fly in. I don't actually go for the journey to get it to any of these places. I just fly in and join you.
Well,
you do the hard work.
You don't have enough vacation to do that. So that's the nice thing when I work for myself is, you know, I can take the time to do that, and then you get to come for all the fun.
Yeah. So I've never been out here before. We're in New Brunswick, and yeah, this is actually pretty cool. With the tide out and stuff, this is exactly what I always think of, like when I think of the East Coast, is how the boats are literally like sitting on the ground out there.
So this is Chris's first time to mainland East Coast. We've done Newfoundland before, but that's all Chris has done out here. So we're pretty much completing all of Canada for you this year. You will have done everything except for Newfoundland and the territories.
Yeah, Kino's done more than I have this year. West to the East Coast.
So we are in St. Martin's right now, and we are going to go out and explore, and the tide is out right now, and there's some sea caves just around the corner that you can walk into when the tide's out.
This is a cool spot. There's a cave here that you're supposed to be able to access when the tide is out. Fortunately, like most other things, it looks like there's a little chain there telling people to keep out. So fortunately, I don't know if that's how new that thing is, but fortunately that's just one more thing where when so many people come to one thing, they have to shut it down and control it. Well, we're not going this way. Why put a covered bridge? Like, why do you need a covered bridge? Why not just have a normal bridge with no cover? Because there's no way we're fitting a roof rack. And this is not, yeah, a roof rack.
It looks like the
through
bridge
that
is sponsored either by a sled club or an ATV club, so maybe this is a...
It's probably just something that was built by them, yeah.
not
And it's
for
probably to
cars.
keep the snow off in the winter maybe and stuff. So we're going back this way.
Yeah.
Where no sprinter has gone before.
No kidding.
One way to wreck it. Not wreck it, but scratch it. So this is actually not too bad of a spot. We probably would stay here if we didn't think there was even a better spot. We're up on the top of like this mountain. There's all the ocean out there, We tried going down this road because it looked like it made it led to a beach, but it just got way too tight. We were basically going to scratch the whole van up if we tried to keep going down that way. And we're trying to get down to basically, there's a beach just down there. And unfortunately, since they're doing construction on one of the roads, there's not an easy path there. But we think we've found on Google Maps a way that we can take a detour route that will allow us to kind of get down around there. So I think, unfortunately, I think we've got to go about another 45 minutes back on this road to get back to where we took the wrong turn. And then it's a little chilly up here. And then we're going to go down that road and hopefully get to where we want to be. Well, we did make it. We found the beach that we were trying to get to. It was a bit of an adventure coming down, but the van made it in one piece. It was probably, the roads were probably almost as rough as what we had on those mountains in Prince Rupert at the last little bit, but it was all downhill, so now we got to go up. But it's all really hard rock, so I'm sure we'll be fine for traction and all that stuff. But we are on a beach, and we made sure to park somewhere with nice solid ground. I think if you went a little bit further that way, you might risk getting stuck over in this stuff. But over here, we're nice and safe. We had a little bit of a bonfire last night. Unfortunately, today's just kind of like a total miss day, so we're probably not going to hang out here for too long. Otherwise, it is a pretty cool spot. There's like there's an island over there, and then there's like basically a land bridge that heads all the way straight over to it. And usually when the tide comes up, it's just basically a skinny piece of land that heads straight over. But yeah, we might check out this, and then we're gonna hit the road, head up that way, and then keep going. So, but it looks pretty cool. And also, there was only like one other person here last night, and now there's no one. So we're on our own.
We've definitely slipped a bunch of times, so just good that, you know, there are new tires.
If we didn't have 4x4, though, we would have been slipping out all over the place.
No, this is not a road for non-4x4s.
And we were saying we almost sacrificed the 4x4 option when we were trying to figure out what we wanted to get in a van, and when we couldn't find the van we wanted, we almost said, okay, well, maybe we just go no 4x4, put snow tires on it in the winter. We didn't really think about this kind of driving that we would be doing. Pretty much mostly Jeeps and ATVs come down this road. I think that's all that really comes down here.
And crazy people.
Yeah, not big sprinters.
No, people are always a little shocked when we pull this thing into places that probably shouldn't be in.
Yeah. And as long as you can get it back out, then you're not the fool. But if you get stuck trying to get back out, then you're the fool. You're the idiot that brought the sprinter out there.
Cute Wawa.
Check out the sides of these beer cans. There's your normal size tall can. It's a nice big stubby can. And I think they even have a bigger one. Alright, we're practicing. Nicole's got her cool new helmet on. We're practicing some one-wheeling. We've got a nice open parking lot here. Nicole's already taken a huge leap. She's only spent 20 minutes on it before today, and she's pretty much riding it on her own in counterclockwise motion. So now we need to start the figure eight so she can get a hang of the turns.
My former speed skating self, one direction.
Yeah, so maybe we keep going one direction until you don't need me there, and then we do the figure eight. Okay, we're checking out Hopewell Rocks today. We came by here last night, but it was like total mist. Like, it was sunny outside, but as soon as you got close to the water, it was nasty.
Yeah.
But then today, now it's total sun, which also doesn't work so well for photos. It doesn't. if you know anything about photos don't look as good in the total bright sun. You want a little bit of cloud, but who knows? It's pretty cool though. Water kind of erodes all the rocks to make these really cool structures. They're called flower pot rocks, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And we went and saw some in Georgian Bay too, but these ones are way bigger. And so the tide changes so much. You can see here, the tide comes in all the way up and like goes part way up the rocks there. So it's a pretty dramatic tide shift. So you can only come down here during certain hours of the day.
So they have like a safe time that you can come down that they post every day on their website so that you know what time you can access the ocean floor. And then you got to be out before the tide starts to come in, just so that you don't get pulled in from the undertow and get stuck.
Yeah, and you don't want to get stuck down here.
We just learned something really cool. There are some really big mounds of what we thought were just seaweed, like rocks and seaweed, but they actually are flower pots that have fallen.
Yeah, so every once in a while these fall down, and then there's one over here that is also going to fall over sometime in the near term. Not sure, like, I don't know, it could be 5 years, could be 50 years, but at some point it's going to fall down. It's just from the constant erosion, and then it falls down, and then it creates these big piles that are basically covered in seaweed afterwards. So.
The cool thing about the Bay of Fundy is it is the highest tides in the world, so these rocks are consistently, you know, having, I think it's like up to 9 meters that the water comes in and just like goes right up to the rocks, and you can really see on the rocks where it hits and consistently is eroding.
Oh, Kino, you gotta obey the signs. Get back here. Come here. What are you doing in there?
Oh, wow.
It's a rockfall area.
I'm sniffing.
I think you took the wrong path. How's your shoes? Oh, that's brutal. Nasty.
Alright, so we have spent so much time down here that the tide is now coming back in. And the cool thing is the tide comes in 1 foot every 5 minutes.
Yeah, 1 foot every 5 minutes.
1 foot every 5 minutes and 14 feet every hour. And it gets up to, I believe, 45 or 48 feet by the time the tide is in. And apparently when there is a full moon, it makes it even higher, or a new moon makes it even higher. And I guess it just pulls the tides even harder. So really cool to see the tide starting to come back in. And I think people have to get out of here in about another 2 hours before they can be stuck.
Yeah, it's actually a big thing. You need to be back at a certain time. There's like a safety spot at the far end. If you did get stuck, you'd have to climb up and like basically be rescued.
But you don't want to be that person.
Yeah, you don't want to make the news.
No. So let's head on up and we're gonna hit the road. Are you excited?
I'm actually really excited. You see, you are not allowed to bring your own magnets to me.
Why would you bring magnets to Magnetic Hill?
They get sucked. It's sucked out onto the road.
So located in Moncton, there is the world famous Magnetic Hill. Actually, Canada has 15 magnetic hills, or gravity hills as they're known, but this is one of the most well-known ones. Did you know we have 4 in Ontario?
Really?
Yeah, there's one in Burlington.
We gotta go find them all.
So I have done this a few times with my family as a kid. My dad was just telling us that he did this hundreds of times, but this is Chris's first time doing Magnetic Hill, and he is the most pumped I've ever seen him.
I do know how it works.
Do you know how this works?
I'm driving. I feel like I'm driving up.
You're going down a hill.
Is this actually where it... Because I have not touched anything. I'm slowing down. Wait a minute. So this just mean that if I like let this stop, will I start going backwards?
Okay, so this is what it says.
We're going uphill now.
Do you trust your own perception? Cars don't simply roll uphill. It's impossible, right? Well, drive to the bottom of this world-famous hill, shift into neutral, and be prepared to be amazed. Your car
I'm in neutral right now, and I am definitely rolling up.
Your car will roll uphill in total defiance of natural law, even as your brain is telling you it's simply not possible.
Okay, I'm definitely rolling uphill right
Is
now.
it magnetic, an illusion, or a gravitational mystery? Stories about Magnetic Hill have been around since the early 1800s, and this wondrous place has been puzzling visitors for decades. Drive in right lane to the bottom of the hill, pull over into the left lane beside white post. Place vehicle in neutral, release foot from brake, guide your vehicle backwards up the hill.
Oh, it's gonna go backwards. Oh, okay, that's funny. So we're gonna drive down this hill, go in the left lane, and then we're gonna drive backwards out of this spot. And we just came down that hill, so now I'm gonna let go. We're going backwards.
No reverse lights. Wow! 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 Hey! Hey! Nutty! So for those of you that don't know what the heck is happening right now, how a magnetic hill or a gravity hill works is that you come to the top of a hill and your eye sees another hill going up. So the hill that we roll backwards up, there's actually a hill here that goes up, and that is a natural hill that is actually going up, but because our eye sees the other hill going up, it actually assumes that we're going into a valley, but in actual, we're not. So we roll back up this hill, so you're actually going up just an entire hill one way, but it's an optical illusion.
Up in?
Can I get a ride? That was cool.
Yeah. This time we're gonna go with you.
All right, well, I think that's way too much fun to be had in a week.
Yeah, that was awesome. Nice way to end it with the magnetic hill. I've heard about that since I was a kid, so it was fun to try that.
So I think with that, we're going to leave you here.
We're crossing the border into Nova Scotia.
So our time in New Brunswick is done. It was short, but it gave us a great taste of what New Brunswick has to offer, and we said we are 100% going to come back and spend more time exploring this beautiful province.
And we needed to have approval. We needed like the approval documents to go into Nova Scotia thanks to COVID and everything. So we'll be heading over there and make sure that we can get across today, because you have to actually put in the day that you're going to cross on that. So.
So we will see you next week in Nova Scotia. So we will see you then. If you've loved the video and you are enjoying following along, please make sure to subscribe, like this
comment,
video,
subscribe.
leave a comment below, and we will see you next week in Nova Scotia.